Hello students. In this video, I'm going to provide a quick method for solving this question of IIT-K Advanced 2024. So this is a question on dimensional analysis. If you try to solve this question by putting dimension of all these quantities, charge and permittivity, Planck's constant and speed of light, then you may end up spending lots of time. Okay, so here I'm sharing with you a very quick approach for solving this question. See, we have to find dimension of this quantity. Sorry, it is mentioned here that this quantity is dimensionless. Okay, so we have to find value of alpha, beta, h, and c. So b2, it is given that e to the power alpha and epsilon naught to the power beta and h to the power gamma and c to the power delta. This is dimensionless. It is mentioned that this is dimensionless. So we have to find the value of dimensionless. So we have to find the value of alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. So it can be done very easily if we recall something that we have learned in different parts of physics. See, we know that Hc comes in energy of photon. If you write energy of photon, Hc comes. And this epsilon naught and charge, this charge comes if you write energy, interaction energy of two charges. Okay, so let us see. Energy of photon, you write energy of photon. This is written as Hc by lambda. So we are interested in dimension only. So we'll say that lambda has dimension of length. So we'll say that Hc by length has dimension of energy. This has dimension of energy, call it equation number 1. Okay. Now, energy of two charges. We know that suppose there are two charges which are at separation r, then energy is written like this, Q1 into Q2. So suppose I say Q1 is E and Q2 is also E, then see, we know that formula for energy in this case is Q1 multiplied by Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught and R. That is the R is the separation. So again, in place of Q1, Q2, we are writing E, so it will become E square 4 pi epsilon naught. So let us not write 4 pi because we are mostly interested in dimension. So I'm not writing 4 pi because it is a dimensionless quantity. This is epsilon naught, and in place of R, I'm writing L because R has dimension of length. Okay, so this also has dimension of energy. Okay, so this is our second equation. Since we have to create a dimensionless quantity, so let us divide these two. So if you divide the two, you are going to get here Hc and multiplied by epsilon naught and here divided by E square. So this becomes dimensionless. Dimensionless because L will cancel out from the two. Okay. Now we can write it as E to the power minus 2 Hc and epsilon naught. This is dimensionless. This quantity is dimensionless. See here, first of all, this E is written. उसके बाद यहाँ पे epsilon naught लिखा हुआ है. So I can write like this. See, this quantity is dimensionless. So you take any power of this. You take any power of this. That quantity will also be dimensionless. So we can, let us take power minus 1. So it will become E to the power 2 epsilon naught to the power minus 1 and H to the power minus 1 and C to the power minus 1. This quantity will also be dimensionless. This is dimensionless. Okay, so now it is these quantities are written in terms of n actually. So let us take power n. Take power n both sides. So if something is dimensionless, you take any power of that, that will also be dimensionless. So we can write it as e to the power 2n epsilon naught to the power minus n, h to the power minus n, and c to the power minus n. That will also be dimensionless. This is dimensionless. So we just see what we did. We wrote energy of photon because we know that Hc comes in energy of photon. Hc by lambda. Lambda has dimension of length. We wrote energy of interaction of two charges. Okay, because we had knowledge that charge and epsilon naught comes in energy. And since we wanted to create a dimensionless quantity, so we divided the two equations to cancel this energy term. So we are getting a dimensionless quantity here. Now you can see this, we know that this quantity is dimensionless. Okay, so let us compare it with this one. Okay, so therefore in place of alpha we have, so alpha is equal to 2n, okay, beta is equal to minus n, gamma is equal to minus n, and delta will be equal to minus n. That's the answer. So without writing dimension of individual quantities here, okay, we are able to find dimension of this, these exponents, okay, in this dimensionless quantities. Okay, so this is how I figured out this question should be solved. Okay, you can basically frame your own solution. ठीक है, आप लोग अपना solution बना सकते हैं इसका if you want. Okay, ठीक है. So therefore correct option here is option number A. Option A is correct.